Alright, much Abrew about nothing time. We are playing green-red werewolves in standard. There's not a ton of payoffs for being werewolves. I mean, you get like Gaia Reach and stuff, but Howl Pack Resurgence is one of the best ones. Well, let's game trail, reveal Cinderglade, and play a Prowler. Pestern. Hopefully, we draw into some more lands. Servant of the Conduit for our opponent. Sure. Well, let's get in with Prowler. We gotta be the aggressor, I think. Opponent blocks. Alright, well, we can't do anything else this turn, so we might as well Blossoming Defense. Kill the Servant. And then play Cinderglade. Smuggler's Copter should be helpful, because we do need to find those lands. Hopefully that draws us into them. This might be the Pummeler combo version of green-red energy. Yep, Lathnu Wahelian, representing quite a bit of damage. We don't have too much removal. Alright, down to 16. Well, let's Smuggler's Copter. Get in with Prowler. And pass the turn. We pretty much have to Smuggler's Copter because we gotta draw lands if we're gonna survive. We'll take Brawler, Big and Tramply, and a Servant. Well, good news is our opponent's down to 2 cards. Maybe this is just like energy aggro without any of the real pump spell combos or the Pummeler. Opponent has to spend a couple energy. We do not get a land. So let's... Man, we really need a land here. We can play Lambholt Pacifist and just try to play defense. We really want to loot, though. Yeah, I think we have to. I think we have to loot. We have to find lands if we're going to stay in this game. We really need to be able to play Village Messenger and Lambholt Pacifist here, which requires us finding a land. So, Smuggler's Copter. Gonna do some scooting and looting. Land, please. Definitely looting. Let's discard the Bandit. No land. Probably pretty dead now. Because all we can really do is play Lambholt Pacifist and just kind of hope for the best. And that's not many blockers. So pass the turn. Ether Hub for our opponent. If they are playing pump spells and so forth, then we're even more dead. Opponent goes attacking. And attacking. Alright, well, we're just going to block Servant. We're dead to pump spells essentially no matter what. So, drop to 4. Alright, we're staying alive, just barely. It's going to flip our Pacifist, too. Jeez, more Howl Pack Resurgence. Well, play Lambholt Pacifist. Pass turn. Now we're just going to stay back on defense. Opponent's kind of flooding out, so we are kind of still in this. Alright, Bristling Hydra is big, but not just deadly here. Attacks, attacks. Well, let's block and block. Still dead to pump spells. Alright, down to 3, and it's us versus Bristling Hydra. Still not a land. Well, I don't think we have a choice. Fire up Smuggler's Copter. Get in with Smuggler's Copter. Loot. Land, please? Oh, God. Discard Arlencord. Well, now we're dead to removal. Any removal. Play Village Messenger. Best turn. If we could have played Duskwatch as well, then we wouldn't be dead to removal, but... Just can't find the lands. We've drawn a lot of extra cards, too. 2 lands and 15 cards. Well, chump. Bristling Hydra. Opponent passes. We get a Blossoming Defense. We gotta draw a land at some point. It's gotta happen. We're getting to the point where our deck is just all lands. Get in with Smuggler's Copter. Loot. Deck! Worth! You're killing me, Worth. Alright, play a Duskwatch. Hopefully chump block. Still dead to anything. Pass the turn. Sooner or later, our opponent's going to draw Harness Lightning. Long Tusk Cub. Well, that doesn't make things easier. Opponent goes attacking. We have to jump. Opponent passes. We do not draw land. This is getting absurd. Well, I guess we play Duskwatch. Pass the turn. Opponent goes to combat. Attacks, attacks. Well, let's crew up our Smuggler's Copter. Block Bristling Hydra, block Longtusk Cub. We get to loot. Discard at Ulrich. Alright, so we are... Oh, yeah. Opponent spends a bunch of energy. We managed to go, yep, and it's a tap land. 19 cards into our library with 2 lands. Wow. Well, we stayed alive for a while, which is good, but that's variance for you. I'd keep that hand again. I think that was very much a correct keep. Sideboarding, we have more removal potentially. Silver Fur does not seem very good. Bring in Moonlight Haunt. Maybe room if we can find room for another Moonlight Haunt. We can go down Ulrich. Ulrich just isn't good. Yeah, let's go in another Moonlight Haunt. Let's try it like that. We do have 24 lands too. We're not even skimping. Alright. Let's give it a shot. Little awkward with the tapness of these lands, but Cinderglade, go. Forest for our opponent. And there's a Yatune with Ether. Opponent passes. Well, we're going to have lands this game, which is sweet. Let's play Smuggler's Copter. Pass the turn. Mountain for our opponent. And passes. Well, play a Forest. Play a Nissa. We don't really want to screw up our Smuggler's Copter. It looks like our opponent's leaving up Harness Lightning. So this is a pretty good way to play around that. And kind of punish our opponent for leaving up Harness Lightning, most likely. Opponent's going to play Voltaic Brawler. Alright, so they kind of gave up on the Harness Lightning plan. We get a Duskwatch. Well, let's play Duskwatch. Play Village Messenger. Crew up Smuggler's Copter. Now that we're pretty safe to do that. And then we're just going to tick down Nissa. And do some looting and scooting. Yeah, we'll discard Duskwatch for now. Put our opponent down to 16. And pass turn. There's a Forest. Does our opponent have Bristling Hydra? Incendiary Flow takes down Duskwatch. Sure. So I expect we're going to lose our Nissa here. If our opponent doesn't give it Trample, we'll block. If it gives it Trample, then we will not. Alright. Yep. So Nissa down. But Nissa did her job. Ooh. That's interesting. We don't have too many wolves for it yet. But let's crew up our Copter. Attack with both. Loot. Discard Arlencord. Yeah, let's just pass, and we can flash in Howlpack Resurgence. Also flips our Village Messenger, which is reasonable. Harness Lightning. Well, we might as well do this now. And make our opponent spend more energy. We do lose our Messenger still, but instead of gaining an energy off Harness Lightning, our opponent actually just kills our creature. Doesn't gain anything. Gets in with the Brawler. We're still at 20, though. And our opponent's all the way down to 10. And we still have Copter. Well, there's Cinderglade. Well, let's play Prowler. Crew up our Copter. Attack with both. Loot. Another Copter. And we'll discard Cinderglade. Play a second Copter. And pass turn. Our wolves are doing a pretty good job of flying the Copter. And our opponent scoops it up. Sweet. Well, that went a lot better. Yeah, let's run it back. That went well. Alright, on to game 3 against Green-Red Pummeler. Or maybe just Green-Red Energy Aggro. I haven't actually seen a Pummeler yet. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're going to have to mulligan this one. Only one land. Oh, this is not good. To the bottom. Jeez. This is like... Maybe we should have kept mulliganing, actually. Opponent has a tune. Gets another forest. We draw Blossoming Defense. Yeah, I guess we should have just went to 5. There's a Brawler. Play game trail tapped. Pass turn. So Gaia Reach Bandit is pretty bad. Like, I guess it's sweet if it flips, but there's very few situations where it's pretty underpowered on its front half. Like, what's it going to do against our opponent's board? Trade with a Servant? That's not very good. Another Attune with Ether. So our opponent has 1,000,000 energy. Opponent gets in. 4/4. We draw land. Well, all we can really do is Gaia Reach Bandit and pass the turn. Try to trade with a Voltaic Brawler. Oh, painful use of our 3-drop. Instead, it bites a Galvanic Bombardment. So we're dropping to 10. Well, our mulligan hand was very slow, and our opponent's draw has been pretty aggressive. Opponent passes. Well, Forest and Gaia Reach Bandit. Pass the turn. Play some more defense, hopefully. We do have a Blossoming Defense to maybe help keep it alive. We'll have to see. If our opponent doesn't have much, our Arlen Chords might be able to save us. Opponent passes. Wow. Well, we wouldn't mind drawing an untapped land. We're going to flip a bandit. Well, play another bandit. Going to transform. Play Timber Gorge. And let's just play defense. What is our opponent's hand? I'm so confused. Harness Lightning. We're going to let that one go. Just a handful of burn spells. Opponent tags with Brawler. Pays an energy. Well, let's trade off. There's Bristling Hydra. This is where Arlen Chord is pretty lacking. Now, play Arlen Chord. Make a wolf. Play Game Trail. Pass the turn. Lightning Bolt Arlen Chord would have been better there. Land for our opponent. Incendiary Flow. Well, let's try Blossoming Defense. Opponent passes? Wow. We draw more lands. Well, shoot down the Servant. Play Game Trail. Pass the turn. Hope our wolf lives and we can chump. Another land for our opponent. Goes at us. I mean, we're definitely chumping here. So chump, Bristling Hydra. And opponent passes. Now we're drawing our lands. Well, make a wolf. And pass turn. Opponent goes attacking. Well, we'll chump. There's Smuggler's Copter. Well, let's shoot at Bristling Hydra. Opponent can save it. Play a second Arlen Chord. Make a wolf. Play a Smuggler's Copter. And pass turn. Well, there's Natural State. That's what our opponent's been holding. We don't have a real way of doing anything to this Bristling Hydra. Opponent draws a Brawler, more energy. And because Arlen flips back and forth, which is horrible, we can't just Abyss the Bristling Hydra, which is so bad. We really need something that can just make a token every turn. Or a forest. Well, shoot down Voltaic Brawler. Pass the turn. And now we very well could be dead. Bristling Hydra is at least 7 power if our opponent dumps their energy into it. Huh. Well, we know our opponent wasn't casting anything. Apparently they are a energy aggro deck that's playing World Breaker. Spicy. And that's essentially the game. There's no comeback mechanism in this deck, so I think that does it. And Hellbag Resurgence, you can see the variance. Good when we're doing awesome, very bad in this scenario. Alright.